Short history about vodka. The history of vodka spans across many Eastern European countries including Russia, Poland, and Sweden. Each country produces vodka in different ways with varying alcohol content, and the alcoholic beverage has progressed through the 14th century all the way to the 21st century. While the history of vodka is rich, every country around the world now enjoys vodka for how commonly known it's become. Whether you're in Eastern Europe or the United States, you will find people selling vodka, and you'll find the most popular vodka brands internationally. Vodka has brought the world together over time. Here are some of the most important aspects of its beginning. The history of vodka started in Russia in the 14th century. Vodka at this time was made by the distillation of grapes, and it was considered to be a spirit wine, because it was a combination between English spirits and wine. In 1430, the first Russian vodka recipe was created by Isidore the monk, and it was a bread wine, which had a low alcohol content, no more than 40% ABV, and many people referred to it as burning wine. Poland also had a history of vodka around the same time period in the early 1400s. Vodka was commonly used as a medicine in the early days in Poland, but in the early 1500s, Polish writers discovered that vodka could be used for other purposes, such as for an increase in fertility and lust. There are many historic Polish vodka blends that are dated back to the 16th century, the 17th century, and the 18th century. Obviously, as time went on, vodka in Poland became more widely accepted as a casual drink and not just a medicinal remedy. While the history of vodka shows that vodka production started in Sweden in the late 15th century, it wasn't until the late 18th century that Swedish vodka production expanded. Potatoes became the main product used in the Swedish distillation process, and distillery equipment also got better throughout the 19th century. Absolut Vodka is one of the most popular Swedish vodka brands to this day, and Absolut Vodka was created in 1979. Absolut is the base for many of the easy vodka cocktail recipes everyone should know, so it has an important place in vodka's history and modern usage. Production of vodka. Vodka can be made from any agricultural crop with a high starch content. However, vodka can be made from milk as well. Black cow vodka was created by Jason Barber and Paul Archard, through a trial and error process that took approximately 5 years. Barber had been inspired by the drink araka, an alcoholic form of fermented mare's milk used by Genghis Khan and his armies. Araka, which is still made today, is approximately 7% ABV and more akin to a beer. The vodka is made using whey, as it is high in lactose and sugars to convert to alcohol with a specific yeast that will react with lactose. The product is triple filtered, including through a carbon made from coconut husk. After distillation, the product comes out at 48% ABV, at which point they process the liquid into black cow vodka. The final concentration of the product is 40% ABV. In total, 20 liters of milk are required to make 1 liter of vodka. Vodka is traditionally made from wheat, rye or potato, but can also be made from barley, corn, sugar cane and grapes etc. These raw materials are then treated to release the fermentable sugars within. These steps will depend on raw materials used. For example, in the case of grapes it's as simple as pressing them. However, in the case of grains these may need to be milled, ground and steeped before the fermentable sugars are released and ready for conversion. During the fermentation, yeast is added to what now should be a liquid substance with sugars in it. These yeast will convert the sugars in the liquid into alcohol. So far this process is very much the same as that of the production of beers and wines. Depending on the raw material used and the length of fermentation, the initial wash tends to have an ABV between 5 and 12%. Vodka can be distilled in either a pot or a column still, however column still are definitely the most prevalent. The end product here tends to be a neutral spirit sitting around the 96% ABV mark. Interestingly, for many vodka producers their real first step starts below. It is very common, especially for newer brands, to simply purchase a high-grade food-quality neutral spirit from a commercial distiller and then finish the vodka off by following some or all of the below steps. Copper pot distillation. Some vodkas will at this stage undergo an additional step where it is distilled in a copper pot still. This is said to improve mouthfeel and viscosity as well as remove certain sulfurous compounds. Filtration. Most vodkas will be filtered before they are bottled. This is to remove any further unwanted flavors or impurities. Charcoal is a traditional and popular method, although several other materials are used as well. All vodkas will be cut back with water to achieve bottling strength. Vodkas can be bottled as low as 37%, but like most spirits are mostly bottled at 40%. Another key factor in vodka production is the water. No other spirit category puts as much emphasis on their water as vodka does. Given that vodkas often strive to be as pure and clean as possible, it's only natural that the water used in the bottling process is as pure as possible as well. For example, heavy water vodka is using water from an underground lake that originates back from the last ice age, 5 to 10,000 years ago, and is said to come from the same water source that the first King Christian of Sweden was baptized in more than 1,000 years ago. Ocean Organic Vodka makes the claim that they are the only vodka in the world made with deep ocean mineral water. The high mineral content their water is said to impart a unique character to Ocean Organic Vodka. Finlandia Vodka uses water that is drawn from a deep well that lies under a 10,000-year-old glacial moraine formation in Rajamäki, Finland. The water is so pure that no other purification or filtration is required besides a mechanical filter that only removes visible particles. Belvedere has 2 artesian wells within 1 mile of the Polmos Zyredo distillery where the vodka is made. The wells are 41.5 meters and 50.5 meters deep. The water passes through an 11-step purification system to ensure it is pure and tasteless. Grey Goose gets its water from a 500-foot well in the Grande Champagne region of Cognac. It's been filtered through limestone over several centuries, and is drawn on the day that it's destined for the bottling plant. Absolute is very focused on the idea of one source. All the winter wheat used for the production of the vodka, as well as the water, comes from the same area around the distillery in Aarhus, Sweden. The water is drawn from pristine local deep well. 42 Below Vodka uses water from deep beneath the volcanic plateau in the center of New Zealand's North Island. This spring has been graded AA by WHO, the global body responsible for measuring water quality across the planet, signifying water of unparalleled cleanliness and purity. Russian Standard makes much of the glacial water it collects from Lake Ladoga, which is praised for its softness and purity.